Welcome back, Mercedes-Benz of Woodlands. Coach Jamie here back with part two of my mystery shop. Now, I submitted my lead to your dealership under the name Michelle Nelson, and I inquired on a brand new C300. This lead was sent today, which is Friday, April 24th at 3:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, I received a few responses. So the first one was the automated response email at 3:35. I then received a phone call from Jim at 4:17, followed by the email at 4:24. There was also an additional packet that was sent to me in regards to the vehicle of interest at 4:28. So you did a really nice job with that as well. Now I want to talk about response time. So, while your response time was great on the automated response, we actually don't typically recommend those. And we want to set them to be sent at least 3 to 5 minutes after receiving the lead. So, you did a really nice job there. Remember, we want all communications to be personal. So, it gives it a more personal feel if it is received 15 minutes later versus a minute after sending the lead to the dealership, which to me would be very detectable as an auto response. Now, for the phone call, though, it was received almost an hour after sending the lead. We do want to work on that. Remember, the goal is to get your customer on that phone within 15 to 30 minutes of receiving the lead at your dealership. So, this not only gives your dealership an advantage over the competition. 95% of customers will purchase from the first company to call them, but it's also easier to get your customer on the line. You're more likely to get them on the phone if you call right away after they submitted that lead. This way, they're likely still home, probably sitting in front of their computer, and available to speak about the vehicle. Next, I received the follow up email at 4:24. So, because that email was received almost immediately after the phone call ended, I did give you a score for being under an hour for both the phone call as well as email. Now, I want to talk about this auto response. As I did just mention, we don't typically recommend these. They should only be sent if your dealership's closed. If you are to send it, we want it to appear to be more personal versus automated. So there are some ways you can do this. We want to reference the customer by their first name. Now, it does appear to have come from someone, which is great. And your signature file is almost complete. So, in addition to your name, love this title here, the Enchantress of Optimism. That's fabulous. Your dealership's name and your direct dial phone number. You also want to include in this your personal email address along with a link back to your dealership's website. Now, the great news is all of these responses were received in my inbox versus spam, which is fantastic. You do also include a really nice mission statement here. So great job there. We always want to build that value. Something else you do want to include though is a question. You want to attempt to elicit a response from your customer. So think of something, a question you can ask which will prompt them to hit that reply button. Now for the phone call, listen to the audio portion of this shop for all of my scoring comments. On to the follow-up email. Now here is the email that was received after we hung up the line. Now I want to talk about this. Remember, what you really want to do and what we're looking for is the next step in building a connection and relationship with your customer and your dealership. So you want to send an email which references that phone call, acknowledge that you've spoken with the customer, thank them for taking the time to speak with you, and confirm the next steps with them as well. So even if you don't get a tentative appointment or you don't actually confirm a time, even if you don't offer to follow up on the call, it's still important to include in this email that you will be following up with the customer. In addition, I would like you to also work on this subject line. While you do include the vehicle of interest, which is great, you want this to be a bit more eye-catching. You want it to stand out in the customer's busy inbox. You generally have about half a second to catch their attention before they delete or ignore it. So what I would suggest doing, you could include something such as, your beautiful 2015 C300 is waiting for you here at Mercedes-Benz of Woodlands! Exclamation point. You want to build that value in that subject as well. In addition, down below here, we are looking for a complete signature file, and you did a great job with this. You do have your personal email address along with that link back to your website. Fantastic job with that. However, something else we want to do is make sure that there are no spelling or grammatical errors. So we can see here, I will forward you with. You'd want to simply say, I will forward you some information. In addition, inquired is spelled incorrectly. So be sure to always use that spell check. Remember, we always want these emails to look professional, so there shouldn't be any typos or misspellings. You also want to include a video link in this email. Now, this could be a video introduction from Jim, or a video of the vehicle of interest would be great as well. Could also be a YouTube channel, commercial to your dealership, but we definitely want to include that video along with value. So every communication, we want to build that value. Include the same value that you had in your auto response. That's definitely something that sets you apart. Maybe you meet and beat competitors' pricing. Maybe you offer 5 free oil changes or some type of a gift card by visiting your dealership, but you want to bring that value to your dealership. So, with continued practice, I'm confident that you will definitely get better and better. Just make sure that you are really practicing that script on your calls. And in regards to the email, we want to include all of the content that we look for. Your secret code today is VALUE, VALUE. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.